People know me today as a de addiction expert and a family counselor, but very few people know why I chose this path. I didn't learn about addictions from the books first, I lived with it.
How was your childhood?
My childhood was very beautiful. It had all the right elements, lots of love, lots of affection, attention. और पिटाई भी होती थी, सब होता था. Everything was beautiful. Parents were taking care of us and taking us for holidays. The element of alcohol was there. My father would drink, but there was no torture or trouble as a young child.
And when did you first realize that alcohol is affecting your life?
I think if I woke up with seeing my parents fight or hear loud noises, still I felt things would be okay. The next morning, if they were fine, I would look at their faces, whose face is what. I would feel they are fighting like regular parents. But as I grew up, probably around 10, 11, I started feeling that I wouldn't understand why my mother is yelling at my dad because he was a very sweet person, very nice person. But yeah, there was an odor around us, a whiskey odor, an alcohol odor around us. And that probably led me to think probably that there is more alcohol than there's more drinking allowed in my house by my dad, his brother, and some more uncles who would visit than what is normal. It felt a little heightened. And yes, sometimes I would see my dad sleeping a little more than what he would normally do, or react to a situation where normally he wouldn't. So I realized something is offish, but didn't know this is addiction. I just felt there is big amount of alcohol that is being consumed. That's it.
And what did it feel like as a child?
I wouldn't say I felt threatened or uncomfortable around my dad, but later I started feeling scared. More so, he was a harmless being. My brother and I never felt anything coming towards us, not even a hand raised. He was very sweet and lovely towards us. But yeah, their fights and the frequency, the increase in the number of fights and reactions, that used to scare me. I wouldn't want it at all and would dread Sundays because Sundays, my dad, like in Chalbaz movie, they say, "Aaj Sunday hai to din mein daru peene ka day." But those Sundays were dreadful because he would start drinking in the afternoon with his brother or without, or go to his brother's house also. So Sundays were not lovely. It's a short day of a fight between my parents. As I was growing into a young lady, working and studying together, or I should say the other way around, studying and working together came hand in hand. So from the age of 16 only, I had to start working because financial situation does take a beat in a house where there is alcoholism, there is addiction. I didn't feel bad doing that. I was happy to help my mother and offering the tiny financial help that I would give. Things were not good at all. My dad passed away very early. And I thought somewhere this chapter of alcoholism is closed. Though I was distraught and sad that he's gone too early, he's left me and my brother and mother too early. But I felt somewhere we are not going to be panged or hurt by the bottle anymore. We are not going to see that in around our house. The odors are going to go. But life had a different plan for me, as if there was an unfinished business with alcoholism. And I married one. And I, even after living with a couple of people, loved ones around me, I didn't catch it that my would be husband is actually an alcoholic. I thought he drinks too much, and there were people around me who kind of clouded my mind and said, "Aisa to hota hai. This is how life is." And I was in a cocoon. I was not a party person or never stepped out, never had a drink, never held a glass. So I felt probably I am blocking and not keeping my mind open. The person looks like nice, family looks lovely. So maybe this will be a couple of drinks every night and it would be fine. But it was torture written every night, and some days were good, some days were lovely. I could count them on my finger though, but most of the days were again filled with that odor around me and yelling and screaming. And this time, the direction of alcohol was totally on me. his family was going through what they were going through, but without realizing, my husband, I felt, has developed resentment against me. And I would think that I have just married him and it was an arranged marriage. So, how could he have such a long list of anger against me? But alcohol would do what it would do to him. And the reaction would come a lot on me without me understanding what's happening and why does he yell so much. But yes, it happened. So basically, so what I can summarize as the addiction, which was part of my childhood, the loved ones around me who drank as much as they shouldn't have, also became part of my married life. It was tough, very difficult, and it had crazy lows. My self esteem, confidence, everything got hurt
Did you ever ask why me?
all the time,
Did you feel angry?
most of the time.
And did you ever think of giving up?
At times, yes, but I do have a fighter in me, a survivor in me, and that felt there was hope somehow. I don't know where it was arriving from, where it was coming from, that life will change. I couldn't see a light at the end of the tunnel, but I felt life is going to change, and it did change.
So, Vandana, what was the turning point in your life? What changed?
I think it started somewhere in my B.Ed year when I was studying, and they took us for a workshop, and they made us write a lot. In that effort of writing or putting down my thoughts, I didn't realize it's working on me. And I broke down once while sharing about my dad. I hadn't cried probably for a year or two after his going, but I broke down. And in that, when they asked us to write what is our goal or purpose or what would we like to do later in our life, I did write, I want to help alcoholics. Dot, dot, dot. I didn't know the world, the universe is going to turn it around and make me marry it again. So one turning point I'll say is that. Second, when fortunately my husband sobered up, he did go to a rehab and got sober. He realized that he's sick and tired of being sick and tired, and thankfully, with God's grace, he managed to remain sober for a good amount of time and continued to do so. Uh, I felt I should help families. So did my counselor and my husband and other people around me started feeling that the way I went down in the black hole and never realize how would I come back. But the counselors and my mentors and well wishers, they helped me so much. I could do that to others. And one big thing I felt that I wasted a lot of time in getting better. I wanted to cut that out for families, wives, and children or friends. I felt they should learn from my mistakes and not waste that amount of time. You're allowed, it's your life, take your time. But if I can guide and help you to cut it off, and the whole year's counseling or 2 3 years of counseling can be cut down to a couple of months or only a year, would be a pleasure to watch. That got me into it with more vigor, and I'm very happy that these were the turning points in my life and I could help a lot of families. I can still help a lot of families.
So, basically, your pain became your purpose.
Actually, pain became my purpose, and life teaches a lot of lessons, and especially when there is rejection, dejection, and you don't live the life that you had dreamed, and you thought it will be a particular way, and it doesn't go by that line. That's where your pain can be turned around in, it's like something which is not productive turns into productive, and you can guide people with a lot of hope and bring that faith in the person who's suffering, that you can come out of it like I did. So yes, pain turned into purpose.
And what was the first step?
So the first step, which I did with a lot of defiance and denial, was go for therapy myself. And I was like, why do I need therapy? The person who drank too much needs to do it, and he's done it, so I don't need to do anything about it. But I didn't realize that the character defects what an alcoholic or an addict develops, somehow it percolates into us too, because we are constantly watching them, living with them, and the memory of their wrongdoings sticks in our mind, like it hurts. Memory hurts. So while it's doing that and you are still living in the old life and your loved one has gone ahead or is moving ahead, at some point maybe you are also the one to pull him back into the bad world which he doesn't want to come back to without realizing, and you don't want to enable that. So with that thought, somehow once I started counseling and somewhere a spark of light hit me that this is what will work. I'll change, and I'll change for good. There were a lot of things pointed out to me that you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're wearing a mask. My counselor drew 10 masks and showed me you are all this, and I felt a ego hit. And I said, no, 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 I'm a nice person. I'm not like that. This is not me. If I'm wearing a mask, also, I don't want the other person to feel bad. But he made me realize I don't have to do that, and I can be myself. I can grow the way I want to grow, and live a life the way I wish to live, so that other people can watch this, chalk their path, and live the life that they wish to live. Every person who sits across me reminds me that addiction isn't just their story, it's also the story of people who love them. So, I wish to tell the people who are watching this that if you are an addict and unfortunately it's hit you, this disease has contracted you, don't worry. Recovery is possible. Just take that step, ask for help, and see how help arrives at your doorstep. And it will take you to the level, it will take you to sobriety, it will take you to healing, and you would love the life which is ahead. And if you are a family member, please understand your pain matters and you're not alone in this. You deserve help, you deserve love, and you deserve a lot of attention that's missing in a life living with an alcoholic or an addict. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. Keep going, and you will find it.